Everybody, I'm finally ready to do my review of The Phantom of the Opera at Leeds, and if I've got time I'll talk about a new musical I went to see at the Camden Fringe Festival called Firing Life. So anyway, I went to see The Phantom of the Opera at Leeds. I went to both the matinee and the evening on the 23rd of August, and I knew already I was having Richard Woodford as the understudy Phantom on, and I was also expecting Lee Ormsby as one of the managers, Monsieur Firmin. But when I got to the theatre and I got Katie Hall to sign my programme, she told me that actually the second cover, David Phipps Davis, was going on for his first time as Monsieur Firmin, and it would be his first two shows that day. So I was like, ooh, that's a bit exciting. Sorry, I've got a message. Who is it? I'm being rude, I know. Yeah, so it was really exciting, and I went and sat down in my seat, and I had row G, which turned out to be like 4th row from the stage. They cut A and B off or something to make way for the massive orchestra, and I was worried it wouldn't fit as well on Leeds Grand Theatre stage as well as it had in Manchester, but I was wrong. It seemed quite snug and seemed to fit it really quite well. And the show started, and Katie Hall was just absolutely fabulous as Christine. I think she is my favourite Christine that I've seen so far. However, I do have a semi-formed plan in my mind to go and catch Olivia Brereton next Friday, if she's on, because it's good to see new Christines and things. Richard Woodford as the Phantom, he's very small physically. Like, John Owen Jones is a big guy and he's got this massive voice, and Richard Woodford, when he came on, he's very, like I say, he's very small and wiry. I think he kind of reminded me of Ramin a bit, because Ramin's quite a small kind of phantom as well, like physically. But as soon as Richard opened his mouth to sing the Phantom of the Opera title song, I was like, bloody hell, he's a small guy but he's got a massive voice, and his acting was just brilliant. Like, how can I describe his Phantom? It was very angry sort of Phantom. I didn't cry as much as I would have done if it had been John Owen Jones, but I did cry a little bit at the end. He did have me in tears, and Katie and Simon had me in tears as well. I was an emotional wreck after the second show. After the first one, I was just sat in the restaurant and I was like, oh my god, trying to calm down. And then after the second show, I was just like, oh. Simon Bailey, he's very good. His microphone needed turning up in the first show. Didn't really hear him as well. But then when I went to the second show, I was sat on the second row from the stage, so I heard him a lot better from there. I was a bit more central in the evening show. Yeah, they were all fabulous. David Phipps Davis, like I said, he was making his debut in the matinee as Monsieur Firmin. There were a couple of little mess-ups here and there, like in the first note scene when he's reading the note out. The recording or whatever of the Phantom taking over, like reading the notice out, like David said his line and then there was like a pause, and then David went back and re-said his line again, and then like the recording of the Phantom saying the note took over, which was a bit odd. And just a couple of little things, but he did really well for his first performance. You would never have thought it was. And he worked really well with Simon Green, was it? Yeah, Simon Green, who played Andre. They worked really well, and like at the beginning of Masquerade, when they're both walking on, and it's like with the long-nosed masks, it was quite funny and quite comedic. Angela M. Cesar as Carlotta. Absolute love her. I think she's one of the best Carlottas I've ever seen. She's got such a Italian style temper and flair, and no, signor, tempo, you know, when she's doing Hannibal, that was really funny. Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't crying until the end of the second half in the matinee, but then it was really weird in the second performance in the evening, because Katie Hall started singing Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again, and I just, all of a sudden, I just got this image of my granddad who died when I was like 18, and in my head, and then I just burst into tears thinking about my granddad while watching Katie, and I was just like, oh bloody hell, it's not the end yet. And yeah, I love Elizabeth Marsh as Madame Giry. She's got real control, like when she goes after Angel of Music, when it's Christine and Meg in the dressing room. Meg Giry, are you a dancer? Then go and dance! And Meg like really runs off, and you can see she just frightens all the girls. Here, the string he was on for Bouquet was quite good as well. He's very lechy sort of thing over the ballet girls and trying to terrify them all. What else can I say really that I haven't said already? Richard, I felt like he was, like I said, he was more of an angry phantom, and I was sort of thinking, oh, I can see why Christine might want to go with a phantom, but I prefer her going off with Val, whereas some phantoms I've been like, what are you doing? He's a fop. Go and stay with the phantom. He'll look after you better. Even though he's a raging psycho. Yeah, David's second performance in the evening was much better. I think he was more relieved than anything to have got through it all, and I gave him a big cheer at the end, which was good for him. He was sort of like, oh. Hannah Caddick, I'm not really impressed by her Meg Giry. I don't know why. If anything, I feel like Meg Giry's got smaller. Even though at one point in Masquerade, if you watch closely, I think it's when Christine's dancing with all the masked men, she's at the side of the stage getting off with somebody from the party, and it, like I said, I think, did I say in the last review, it reminds me a bit of Love Never Dies, like setting that up, which is like, ugh. Yeah, just an amazing show really. I love Phantom, and I think everybody should go see it. Onto it, and like I say, I'm definitely going back to go and catch Olivia next Friday, so I might do a review of Olivia that's specifically just about Olivia, so it might only be a couple of minutes. Depends who else I have on as an understudy, I don't know. So yeah, that's my review of Phantom at Leeds, and if there's anything you want to know, just ask me, because I don't think I've covered it all in this review, but hey ho.